Did you know that Japan has the largest population of people living past 100?
More than 90,000 men and women are blowing out triple-digit birthday candles every year. And the number keeps rising. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, people spend thousands of dollars on gym memberships, supplements, and complicated programs just to hold on to their health and still fall short. So what's happening here? Why are Japanese elders in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s not just surviving but thriving? For years, researchers thought it was diet. Others pointed to genetics. But when a team of scientists from Harvard Medical School tracked Japanese elders for 5 years, they discovered something most of us overlook completely. The real secret wasn't locked away in their DNA or hidden in their meals. It was in how they moved. Simple, everyday movements that most Western doctors ignored. These weren't exercises. Not the kind you'll see in a gym anyway. No fancy equipment, no extreme effort, no intimidating workout classes. They were so basic that at first, scientists dismissed them as insignificant. But brain scans and long-term health records proved otherwise. Japanese elders practicing these movements every day showed nearly 40% less cognitive decline than their Western counterparts. Their joints stayed flexible decades longer. Their balance remained sharp enough to prevent the falls that send so many seniors to hospitals. And the truly amazing part? These movements take just a few minutes each day. Today, you're going to discover those exact 6 movements. And I have to warn you, the first one we'll get to later in this video has been shown to add up to 7 years of extra life in a 20-year study of 15,000 Japanese elders. 7 extra years. Think about what you could do with that gift of time. But before we begin, I'd love to know, how old are you? And where are you watching from? Type it down in the comments. We actually read and reply to as many as we can. It's always inspiring to see this community of seniors supporting each other. All right, let's dive in. And don't be fooled by where these first movements sit on the list. Even the simplest one has the power to transform how you age. Movement 6, slow walking. Let's start with one that almost sounds too easy to matter. Slow walking, or Sampo. In Japan, elders treat this as a daily ritual, not exercise, not a chore, but almost like medicine for the body and mind. Every morning, often before breakfast, they head outside and walk at about half their usual pace. Not brisk walking, not power walking, slow, intentional walking. But here's the twist, it's paired with a unique breathing rhythm. 1 breath in for 2 steps, hold for 2 steps, then breathe out for 4 steps. This creates a steady flow that links the heart, the lungs, and the nervous system into harmony. Now you might be thinking, how can something so slow be powerful? Well, a 2019 study from Kyoto University followed 3,000 seniors for 10 years. The results? Those who practiced daily Sampo had 62% less arterial stiffness. Their blood pressure dropped by an average of 12 points systolic and 8 points diastolic. That's the kind of result most people chase with medication. But the benefits don't stop with blood pressure. The slow pace allows every part of the foot to touch the ground, heel, arch, and toes. This stimulates all 33 joints in the foot and sends signals to the brain that strengthen balance and coordination. Western seniors who adopted Sampo for just 8 weeks improved their one-leg standing time by an average of 45 seconds. For older adults, that's the difference between a dangerous fall and a steady recovery. Here's how you can try it. Start by finding a safe path, preferably outside. Keep your eyes about 6 feet ahead, not down at your feet. Roll through your whole foot, heel first, then arch, then toes. Let your arms swing gently and naturally, hands relaxed. Practice the breathing rhythm by counting steps until it feels natural. 10 minutes is a great starting point, and you can work your way up to 30 minutes. And here's a tip, avoid treadmills. The moving belt interferes with the natural mechanics of the foot. Instead, choose varied terrain, grass, dirt, even gravel paths. A University of Tokyo study found that seniors who practiced Sampo on natural surfaces had 20% better joint mobility than those who only walked on concrete. Sampo is deceptively simple, but the combination of slow pace, full foot contact, and rhythmic breathing makes it one of the most powerful ways to protect your cardiovascular health and sharpen your balance. Movement 5, Radio Taiso, daily stretching. Now let's move to something that has been part of Japanese culture since 1928. Radio Taiso, or daily morning stretching. Every day at 6:30 a.m., a gentle piano melody plays across Japan's national broadcasting system. It's the signal for millions of people, young and old, to begin a short routine of flowing movements. You'll see school children, office workers, and yes, seniors in their 80s and 90s all doing it together. The routine is simple. 13 movements performed in just over 3 minutes. There are no static stretches, no straining, no heavy effort. Instead, each movement flows smoothly into the next. Arm raises open the chest and improve breathing. Shoulder rotations keep joints lubricated. Twisting movements protect spinal flexibility. Side bends expand the rib cage. Marching in place and shallow squats keep the knees and hips mobile. It doesn't sound dramatic, but the science is. Researchers from Osaka Medical College studied 8,000 people over 60. Those who practiced Radio Taiso daily had 40% fewer falls, 55% less chronic back pain, and maintained a full range of motion in their shoulders and hips well into their 80s. Why does it work so well? Because dynamic stretching increases the production of synovial fluid, the natural lubricant inside our joints. With age, this fluid thickens and decreases, which is why stiffness sets in. But daily, gentle movement can boost production by up to 30%, keeping joints oiled and flexible. And there's something else. The timing. Japanese elders do this immediately after waking, before breakfast or even coffee. Why? Because after sleep, our bodies experience a natural rise in growth hormones. Muscles and connective tissues are most receptive to stretching at that time, making the practice even more effective. The beauty of Radio Taiso is that anyone can do it. If you can't manage the full sequence, start with just 2 or 3 movements, like arm raises and gentle twists. Move like you're flowing through warm honey. No jerking, no bouncing. Even companies in Japan still encourage employees to practice this routine before starting work. Studies show those employees take 30% fewer sick days. Imagine what a difference that makes over a lifetime. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, before breakfast, take 3 minutes. Try lifting your arms overhead as you breathe in, lower them as you breathe out, and then add a gentle twist side to side. Feel the rhythm, let your body loosen, and notice how it wakes up not just your muscles but your mind. We've covered slow walking and daily stretching, 2 habits that cost nothing, require no equipment, and fit easily into daily life. And yet they protect the heart, improve balance, reduce back pain, and keep joints supple. The next movements are the ones that rebuild strength, sharpen balance, and even rewire the brain. But before we continue, if you've been enjoying this so far, take a second to hit that like button. It really helps this video reach more seniors who need these tips. And don't forget to subscribe, you don't want to miss our next video. Movement 4, the deep squat, rest. Picture a park in Tokyo or a quiet garden in Kyoto. If you take a closer look, you'll notice something striking. Elders in their 70s or even 80s sitting comfortably in a deep squat, heels flat, chatting with friends or tending to plants. Some can hold this position for 10, 20, even 30 minutes without strain. Meanwhile, in most Western countries, the ability to squat deeply fades before middle age. Years of sitting in chairs shorten the hip flexors, tighten the ankles, and weaken the pelvic floor. By 60, many people can't hold a deep squat for more than a few seconds without discomfort. But here's the shocking part. Research shows that losing the squat doesn't just limit flexibility, it shortens independence. A 12-year study by the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology followed over 5,000 seniors. Those who could hold a deep squat for at least 2 minutes had a 70% lower risk of needing assisted living. On average, they maintained independence 9 years longer than those who couldn't. Why does something so simple have such dramatic effects? It comes down to biomechanics. When you squat fully, you open the hips to their maximum range of motion, keeping the joint capsules supple. You maintain ankle flexibility, which is critical for balance. You strengthen the pelvic floor, which supports bladder control, a key factor in dignity and independence as we age. And perhaps most important of all, the deep squat decompresses the spine, allowing nutrient-rich fluid to nourish the discs between vertebrae. Western medicine is catching on. Harvard researchers discovered that in cultures where squatting is still part of daily life, hip replacement surgeries are 80% lower and chronic back pain is 60% less common. So how can you reclaim this lost ability if you haven't squatted deeply in years? Start gently. Stand with your back against a wall, feet shoulder-width apart and slightly turned out. Lower yourself slowly, letting your knees track over your toes. If your heels rise off the ground, slip a rolled-up towel under them for support. At first, aim for just 30 seconds. With consistency, you'll build toward 1 minute, then 2. Frequency matters more than duration. 5 one-minute squats spread throughout the day are more effective than one long hold. And the best way to practice? Use it functionally. Squat while waiting for the kettle to boil. Squat while sorting laundry or playing with grandchildren. Replace bending at the waist with squatting whenever you can. Japanese elders don't think of squatting as a workout. They integrate it into life. Resting, gardening, even waiting for buses. And that's the key. Make it normal again. Because the ability to squat deeply isn't about showing off flexibility. It's about staying mobile, independent, and pain-free for as long as possible. So the next time you feel tempted to collapse into a chair, try resting in a squat instead. It might feel awkward at first, but every second you spend in that position is an investment in your future independence. Movement 3. Single leg standing. Now let's move to something that sounds almost silly at first glance. Standing on one leg. But in Japan, this is so important that doctors actually prescribe it to patients over 60. Just like they would prescribe medicine. Why? Because the science is overwhelming. At Fukuoka University, researchers tracked 12,000 participants for 15 years. Those who practiced daily single-leg standing had 68% fewer hip fractures and 75% fewer falls requiring hospitalization. Even more impressive, brain scans showed that this simple act increased gray matter in the cerebellum and motor cortex, areas of the brain critical for balance, coordination, and movement planning. Think about that. Just by standing on one leg, you're strengthening both your body and your brain. Here's why. When you lift one foot off the ground, your body makes thousands of micro-adjustments to keep balance. Tiny muscles in your feet, ankles, hips, and core fire constantly. Proprioceptors, the sensors that tell your brain where your body is in space, become more sensitive. Your vestibular system, located in the inner ear, sharpens its ability to stabilize you. Even your eyes and brain work harder, integrating information to prevent you from tipping over. And because all of these systems work together, the training effect is massive. It's like upgrading the software of your body's balance system. Here's the standard protocol. Stand near a wall or sturdy chair. Lift one foot just an inch or two off the floor. Keep your eyes on a fixed point about 10 feet away. Breathe normally and try to hold for 30 seconds. Then switch legs. As you improve, you can make it more challenging. Close your eyes to remove visual input. Turn your head slowly side to side while balancing. Stand on a folded towel to create an unstable surface. Add small arm or leg movements. The beauty is that you don't need to carve out special time. Japanese elders often do this while brushing their teeth. 1 minute on each leg twice a day. That's 2 minutes of practice hidden inside an existing habit, ensuring consistency without effort. And here's a striking fact. Mayo Clinic researchers found that single-leg standing time is actually a better predictor of longevity than blood pressure or cholesterol. People over 60 who can stand on one leg for at least 30 seconds have mortality rates similar to people 10 years younger. So next time you're waiting for your tea to steep or standing in line, try lifting one foot. It may feel like nothing, but those tiny adjustments are training your brain and your body to work together. It's not glamorous, you won't break a sweat. But when it comes to preventing falls, protecting independence, and even preserving brain health, single-leg standing may be one of the most powerful exercises you can do. The last two aren't just about mobility or strength. They involve floor transitions and a surprising little towel exercise that Japanese elders swear by. In fact, the final movement alone has been linked to 7 extra years of life. But before we get there, if this video has given you even one idea you'd like to try, share it in the comments. Which of these habits feels most doable for you? Your answers help inspire other seniors watching. Movement 2. Floor sitting transitions. Now, let's talk about a habit that looks ordinary on the surface but has extraordinary benefits: sitting down on the floor and getting back up again. In Japan, elders don't spend all their time in chairs. They eat meals on tatami mats, drink tea sitting cross-legged, and watch television while kneeling. That means they're transitioning from standing to sitting on the floor and back again dozens of times a day. It may sound small, but think about it. Every single time they rise from the floor, they're using leg strength, hip mobility, balance, and coordination all at once. And over a lifetime, those movements preserve independence better than almost anything else. Researchers at the University of Tsukuba studied 10,000 seniors. The results were clear. Those who regularly sat on the floor had 40% more lower body strength and 50% greater hip flexibility. They were also able to rise from the floor unassisted well into their 90s. Even more fascinating, their cognitive scores were consistently 15% higher. Why? Because the sequence of movements required, kneeling, shifting weight, stabilizing, lights up the brain's executive centers, giving the mind a workout while the body moves. So how do you practice this if you're not used to it? Start gently. From a standing position, lower one knee to the floor, then the other, until you're kneeling. From there, sit back on your heels, cross your legs, or try side sitting. To rise, reverse the process. Bring one leg forward, plant your foot, and push yourself back to standing. If this feels too challenging, use a sturdy chair or low stool as support. Place your hands on it as you lower down, then let go once you're stable. Over time, try reducing the amount of support until you can do the transition smoothly on your own. Practicing on a yoga mat or carpet is helpful at first to protect your knees. You don't need to do this 20 times a day like traditional Japanese elders. Even 2 or 3 transitions, done consistently, can transform your strength and mobility. In fact, Brazilian researchers found that the ability to rise from the floor without using your hands is one of the strongest predictors of longevity. On average, people who could do this lived 6 years longer than those who couldn't. So the next time you're at home, try replacing one chair session with a few minutes on the floor. Watch television sitting cross-legged, or play with your grandchildren on the carpet. Every time you transition, you're training your body and brain to stay youthful. Movement 1, the towel twist. And now we've reached the final, and perhaps most powerful, movement of all, the towel twist. It looks almost laughably simple. All you need is a small hand towel. Hold it out in front of you, pull outward to create tension, and then twist your torso from side to side. That's it. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This practice has shocked researchers with its results. A 20-year study following 15,000 Japanese elders found that those who performed towel twists for just 2 minutes a day lived, on average, 7 years longer than those who didn't. Their grip strength, which is one of the best predictors of independence in old age, remained above functional levels until well into their 90s. Their bone density was equivalent to people 20 years younger. Brain scans even showed improved connectivity between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, leading to better memory, faster reaction times, and lower rates of dementia. How can one small movement do all that? The secret lies in the combination of isometric contraction and bilateral coordination. When you pull outward on the towel, you're creating resistance against yourself. This engages stabilizing muscles deep in the spine, core, and even the feet. Muscles that rarely fire in traditional workouts. As you twist, you're coordinating both sides of the body, forcing the brain's hemispheres to communicate. Add controlled breathing, inhaling as you return to center, exhaling as you twist, and you're also stimulating the vagus nerve, which calms the nervous system and reduces inflammation. Here's how to do it correctly. Hold a rolled-up towel at shoulder height, hands about 18 inches apart. Pull outward firmly, as though you're trying to tear it in half. Without letting go of that tension, slowly twist your torso to the right, hips facing forward. Hold for 3 seconds, then return to center and repeat on the left. Breathe steadily. Inhale at the center, exhale during the twist. Start with just 1 minute in the morning and 1 in the evening. That's enough to unlock the benefits. Over time, you can increase the intensity by pulling harder on the towel or twisting deeper. You can even try it seated if standing is uncomfortable. The simplicity is what makes this practice so powerful. No equipment, no special clothing, no gym membership, just a towel and a few minutes of consistency. Yet it engages the entire body, strengthens the brain, and literally adds years to life. If you adopt only one movement from this entire list, let it be the towel twist. And there you have it, the 6 daily movements that Japanese elders rely on to stay strong, flexible, and sharp well into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. Slow walking to protect the heart and sharpen balance. Daily stretching to keep joints lubricated and flexible. The deep squat rest to preserve independence and spine health. Single leg standing to train balance and the brain. Floor sitting transitions to strengthen the whole body and mind. And the towel twist, the deceptively simple habit that can add years to your life. Notice that none of these require a gym, expensive equipment, or long hours. They're woven into daily life. That's the real secret. Consistency in simple, natural movement. In the West, we often treat aging like a battle to be fought with machines, programs, or pills. In Japan, elders show us another way. Aging is a process to be navigated gracefully, with patience and wisdom. The choice is always yours. You can put these movements off until tomorrow, or you can begin today. One step, one stretch, one twist at a time. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 movements do you think would make the biggest difference in your life right now? Have you ever tried one of them before? And what was your experience? Share in the comments. Your story could inspire someone else in this community to take their first step. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend who might need it. Together, we're building a space where aging doesn't mean decline. It means thriving, with strength, grace, and independence. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep moving, keep growing, and keep believing in the years still ahead of you.